حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله سيدنا محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. لبيك اللهم لبيك. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله الذي فرض على المؤمنين طواف بالبيت الحرام الذي سماه بعقبة مباركة وجعله قبلة للأنام. وسبحان من أمر بالتلبيات لبيك اللهم لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك في وقت الإحرام. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ولا نظير له ولا مثيل له الذي أقام حقوقا عند المشعر الحرام. ونشهد أن سيدنا وسندنا مولانا محمدا عبده وحبيبه ورسوله أرسله الله تعالى رحمة للعالمين الذي هو صاحب الركن والزمزم والمقام. صلى الله تعالى عليه وآله وأصحابه وأزواجه ذريته الكرام وأتباعه وخلفاء الراشدين والمرشدين المهديين من بعده وزرائه الكاملين في أهله خصوصا منهم الأئمة الخلفاء رسول الله على تحقيق أمرائه المؤمنين حضرة أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي ذوي القدر الجليل وعلى باقية الصحابة والتابعين رضوان الله تعالى عليهم أجمعين. أيها المؤمنون الحاضرون اتقوا الله تعالى وأطيعوه إن الله مع الذين اتقوا والذين هم محسنون. قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المنزل نبي المرسل وما خلقت الجن والإنس إلا ليعبدون ما أريد منهم من رزق وما أريد أن يطعمون إن الله هو الرزاق ذو قوة متين. صدق الله تعالى ربنا الكريم. أيها المؤمنون الحاضرون السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Shaykh Abdul Haqq, Allah bless him, he put for today a hadith on Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma anhu qala, Allah be pleased with him and his father, he said, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم توافى الصلاة وأقيلوا فيه الكعبة فأقيموا به الكلام. صدق رسول الله الذي فيما قال وصدق حبيب الله الملك الملام Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet said tawaf, to go around Kaaba, is prayer, so recite therein. And everybody, when we go around Kaaba, so many thousands and thousands of people are reciting different du'as, some with their books, some going crazy, some silently. Everyone reciting their high praises and respects to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the last Friday of the Hijjah, I think. So it's the last mention of Hajj through Khutba. And wafa, farewell to the holy month of Hajj, the holy month of Ashura, the month of Muharram is coming. And asking to be on our good behavior and good manners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to face the holy month with honor and goodness. This The world is coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. 1 month is going, 1 month is coming. Enter one, another, then going again. Nothing is continuous in this life, everything. And we're asking to be patient. Allah is with the patient ones. And if we can't be patient, then satajiduni inshallah mina as-sabirin. As Sayyidina Ismail said to his father, Sayyidina Ibrahim, inshallah you'll find me to be with the patient ones. And Allah make us to be with them through our hearts. As we enter the holy month of Muharram, whole command is in his hands. What's going to happen? So many different ways to look at Qadr, fate, destiny, what's written. One to say, oh my Lord, who wrote everything? And there's ayat for that. If I could remember it. Allahu yakhluqu man yasha wa yakhtar ma kana lahu khiyara. Subhanallah wa ta'ala amma yushrikun. Allah chooses and decrees as He likes. You have no choice in the matter. And Shaitan used that as his excuse. Or they say, what made you to, everyone else made sajda for Adam, why you didn't? He said, you command everything, you made me to be wrong. Some tafsir say that on the last day that excuse will be why Allah created a shaitan. But we can't use that excuse. Shaykh Nazim said, people asked about Qadr, about the decree. What does it matter? It's all written for us anyway. He said, you know what's written? I said, no. If you don't know, you have to choose goodness. You have to choose goodness. So it's a practical application. Allah decrees everything, but we don't know what's the decree. Therefore, we have to choose goodness. If it didn't work out that way, that was His decree in the end. But we can't say, oh my Lord, you made me wrong also. We have to try our best to choose goodness, to use the willpower He gave us, even though it's a limited one. Sayyidina Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Nabi Rahmah wa Tawbah. What we can control, people are fighting to control this world, to rule over it. Different groups of people are trying to fight with each other and vie with each other to control this whole world and everything and everyone in it, to make everything bend to their will. And then another group, Allah creates another group to check them, to say, oh yeah? No, we are going to control everything. And they begin to fight. Allah said if we didn't send one group to check another group, there would be too much confusion. Now one group was trying to put its willpower over east and west. Another one, they're cursing him. He says, no, and came with a big force against it. Until the issue is resolved, when whole evil comes under the control of Masih Dajjal, Antichrist, and then to the side of believers comes Sayyidina Mahdi alayhi salam, and then Jesus Christ, Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. The final struggle between those two groups. And Jesus Christ should come to continue after the time of Mahdi to kill Dajjal, and peace comes over the world and belief is everywhere. 40 years. I don't know what kind of 40 years. 40 years, according to Hadith. The Awliya were saying. After 40 years, the first signs of unbelief come again. I don't know what will show up, something will come. That time, a heavenly wind comes to take Jesus Christ and all the believers, to take them up. And nothing but unbelief then is left on earth. Christians have a word for that also, rapture coming. Taken up with Sayyidina Isa, and then the world will be filled only with unbelief. That time, the big signs of Qiyamah, Allah said. The sun rises in the west, the beast comes to face humanity, fire from east to west, different big signs, Juj and Majuj, will come to eat everything softer than stones. So they're coming from every hill. Allah save us. We don't know what it means symbolically, what it means for our individual lives. All we can do is to try and do our best, first through our intentions, our niyat, to intend to do our best services for Allah. We just recited, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I didn't create you except for my divine service. And some ulama said, it means to know me, said Allah, to know about Him. First, through knowing about ourselves, our outward and our inward structure. So our job is through ourselves first, to know about ourselves, how we've been created, what we're created for. I intended to make I'm going to make. Whatever He intends, He does it. Like us, we may intend 1,000 things and only do 1%. Allah does what He intends. I just made a Khalifa on earth, human beings. First one, Sayyidina Adam. And all of us are His descendants. We're candidates to be Allah's Khalifa, His deputies. His deputies. How we're going to be deputies? In this world, everyone is competing with everyone else, fighting to be chief over this world. Different power groups, mafias and Illuminatis and others. Each one trying to overcome the other and to control everything. But we're deputies for Allah. How it should be. Well, Shaykh said, you're a candidate to be deputy. If you complete your training, you can reach to be a real deputy for Allah. He said, when you reach that, you're given a private world to be His deputy. No competitors for you there, no partners for you there. So everyone is trying to reach a private existence with their Lord, to be His deputy there, with everything that means. We can imagine this or that, but the real thing we can't imagine unless we taste it. Our job, to try and complete our candidacy to be Allah's deputy. Everyone wants to be an earthly deputy. I want to be Khalifa, I want to be Khalifa. There's a story for Sayyidina Omar, radiallahu anhu, Ibn Khattab, Omar Farouk. when he got the news that he was now the Sultan, the king, at first he was happy. He said, Alhamdulillah, today no one gives orders to Omar, only Omar gives the orders. He was happy. And after a while, they couldn't find him. Where is the new king? They found him finally outside the garden in the royal areas, crying, weeping. They said, what happened? You're the king. Be happy. How I can be happy? Now everything's my responsibility. Anyone has a problem, anyone goes hungry, anyone has a sickness, anyone has a problem, it comes on me. How are you going to carry this? It was the night of the French election, 1980 something. When was Mitterrand? 86, 87. We were in Cyprus with Moulana Sheikh. And we were a few hours ahead of the French election returns. Cyprus, 1 or 2 hours ahead of France time zone. And Moulana had some Turkish guests and a few of us. They're here for waiting, he said about his murids. Someone tried to jump the line. He said, no, these people are ahead of me. He said, never mind, they're here for waiting. So a few of us who was there for waiting were sitting, and he was entertaining his Turkish guests. And they're trying to make him laugh. Moulana, speaking Turkish, he's going, ha, ha, ha. Then all of a sudden, his eyes went like that. He went into a trance. The guests didn't notice. They were still trying to make him laugh, but Moulana wasn't responding anymore. He was like that. I was imagining, I was seeing a shimmering over his head. What is that energy? I don't know if it was real or not, but I was thinking like that. Then after a few minutes, he stopped and he came back to himself again. He said, everybody is trying to reach that chair of power. From outside, it looks like such a good position. Only when a person actually sits in it, they can know what a harmful chair that is, what a difficulty it is. Look at the picture of presidents of the US when they came into office and when they left office. They come in like that, they come out, their hair is white, they're like, what happened to them in 4 years or 8 years? You were so happy to be president, what happened? One wrong word, one wrong. So our job with ourselves, don't run after a chair, don't run after dunya. Try to reach to be the deputy for Allah that He created you and me. It's going to be private. Our shohrat afat ast, in fame is affliction. This is a khalifat, private for you in Allah's presence. No one shares in that. No one knows even. Might be the homeless one in the street is Allah's deputy. No one knows. Outside, nothing shows. Outside, nothing shows. The kingdom is within. But everybody fighting to be the kingdom from without, to show something, is useless. It's useless. We can't do anything. They came to interview Moulana Sheikh Nazim, Allah bless him, for the British TV. And the interviewer started off, Moulana Sheikh Nazim said, yes. What did you do? He stopped him there. I never did anything. I never did anything. He was referring his doings to his grand Sheikh, to Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. May Allah make us to follow them, to be with them, to make Allah happy with us. يوفون بنذره ويخافون يوما تتقلب به القلوب والأبصار. We fulfill our promises to Allah, our vows to Allah, and we only fear the day of judgment, the day when everything will be in commotion. We don't ask any reward, only our Lord's face to be happy with us. They serve without asking any reward for it. The Emir will see you now at $50,000 to come meet with him. Shaykh Hashem had Islamic Unity Conference in Washington in 1998. You had to have a congressional sponsor, 50,000. They don't have to do anything. You just have to give them. We found one for 5,000. There was one. There was one meditating congressman. He took on the job. May Allah forgive us and make us to complete our candidacy, to be his deputies, to learn what it means and what it is to know about ourselves and on what form we were created, to reach to the secrets of that. Allah asana kalam wa barak al-yadam. Kalam Allah malik al-aziz al-alam. Kama qala Allah tabarak wa ta'ala fil kalam. Wa idha quriya al-Quran fastami'u lahu wa ansitu la'alakum turhamun. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. فاذكروا الله عند المشعر الحرام. الحمد لله حمد الكاملين والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد عليه وأصحابه أجمعين. تعظيم للنبي وتقريب لفخامة شأن شفيه. فقال عز وجل من قائلا مخبرا وآمرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد صاحب الوحي والإكرام مفخر العرب والأجام مولانا والمولى العالمين محترمين سيدنا بن قاسم محمد يا أيها المشتاقون نور جماله وترجون شفاعة صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيد إبراهيم وعلى سيد إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. وبارك اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيد إبراهيم وعلى سيد إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. Before we make dua, I was saying, واذكر الله in the Mashar al-Haram, in the sacred precincts. There is a hadith Qudsi, Qalbu Mu'min Baytu Rab. The heart of the believer is a Kaaba, the house of Allah. Always we're in the sacred precincts, remember Allah every time, as if you're in Mecca, Mukarramah, in the presence of Kaaba. You're in the presence of Kaaba through your heart. Remember your Lord. Me, remember my Lord, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم اهدنا بفضلك فيما هديت وعافنا فيما عافيت وتولنا فيما توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك. وإنه لا يذل من وليت ولا يعز من هديت. تبارك ربنا وتعاليت فلك الحمد ولما قضيت. نستغفرك اللهم ونتوب إليك. صلى الله على النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم اغفر وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. واغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. وانصرهم عدوك وعدوهم يا أرحم الراحمين. يا مفتح الأبواب افتح لنا خير الباب. يا غارة الله يا غارة الله يا غارة الله أدركون يا غارة الله. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقم الصلاة.
اللهم صل